When we come back, we're going to be talking to Arizona Rattlers coach Danny White, who'll join us from his home in Arizona. Back after this on the Wendy's Halftime Report.
Guess who's back?
Mistakes are different now. If you lose, you go home and you think, what if? By any means necessary, you have to find a way to pull through and win, because the playoffs are the biggest part of football.
The Colorado Crush and the Arizona Rattlers tomorrow at 3 Eastern Time on NBC. I've got my Hunky Cooper-delivered Danny White bobblehead doll as a perfect segue to bring in our guest, the head coach, the only man to ever coach the Arizona Rattlers from his home in Phoenix, Danny White, along with Glenn Parker and Joey Galloway here. Danny, I think the obvious question is, how did you turn the season around? Is it as much a carbon copy as last year as we think it is?
Well, very much so, and like last year, the credit belongs to the guys in the locker room. I mean, I just basically turned it over to them. We had a long talk one day and said, you know what, guys, this is your team. Coaches can only say so much, you know, Hunky and Cedric and Randy and the guys just took over and decided to get rid of the country club atmosphere that we were dealing with, and the rest is history.
Hey, Coach, Glenn Parker. You know, so much was made of the age of this team. Now, obviously, you put it on, and when you mention those names, you mentioned the old guys. I don't see age. What do you see in them that makes them so special, particularly at this point in the year?
Well, age can be a factor depending on the personality and the attitude of the player. But in the case of these guys, these are the kind of players that we have groomed and ridden now for a long time, and we're going to continue to ride them. A lot of character, a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work. They're the right kind of guys, and so I don't see age. I see experience and leadership, and they've given it to us this year just like they have every other year.
Coach White, Joey Galloway. Randy Gatewood's been down for about a month. Will he be ready for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, Randy's ready. I went up to him on Wednesday, and he just looked at me and said, Coach, don't even ask. He said, they're going to have to cut off my arm to keep me out of this game. And I asked him if he wanted to cut off above the elbow or below the elbow, and he said at the neck. So Randy's ready to play.
Coach, did you gain any solace when you've lost the last 2 Arena Bowls by the fact that in your career you've been to 2 more and won 2, or is there some definite bitterness there that inspires you and your team?
Oh, you know, I don't know if it's bitterness. I think it's frustrating to get close, to get that close, and then to play the way we've played the last 2 years and not really put our best effort on the field. So I really think that's what's driving the players right now. It's driving our veterans, especially those guys that were there, and it's going to be an important factor for us the rest of the way.
Coach, you've gotten home field advantage. We've heard from people that you've said it's worth 10 points. Explain to us what makes your arena so special as a home.
Well, anybody's arena, you know, especially we played in Tampa last year, and you know, Tampa's huge, and they've got a lot of people there screaming and yelling when you have the ball. We fumbled 3 snaps, and the 4th one that caused was bobbled and caused an interception. You know, when you got Mark Tucker and Cedric Bonner in there working together, who have been together for years and years, you can't tell me that, you know, that was nerves. So a lot of it had to do, I think, to the noise and the commotion and the atmosphere. And arena football is a different game in that regard because the fans are so close to you and the noise is so profound that it can have an effect on the game. And I think in the Arena Bowl, home field advantage is a big factor.
Coach, we were speculating during the first half, and not to diminish what Raymond Filiot can do for Chicago, but of all the winning teams in this league, with the style that they play, perhaps Chicago can best absorb losing him better than any of the other winning teams in this league. Would you agree with that?
It's a good point. They rely so heavily on their defense to make plays, and it's a shame they got such a bad break. You know, their defense picks up a fumble, runs it in for a touchdown, and it's a 14-point swing. But they do rely very heavily on their offense and not so on their defense, and not so much on their offense. And so as a result, I think a guy like a guy like Chad Salisbury can step in and play anyway. He's been with them all year. He knows the offense, and with their team, the thing Chad has to do now is just don't do anything stupid to lose the game, and they're going to be in this thing.
Okay, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 Eastern Time.
Okay.
That's Danny White, the head coach of the Arizona Rattlers. Rattlers Crush tomorrow right here on NBC.